The Politics of Spiritual Power and Papal Grace in Zimbabwe's Leadership. The 1st of September 2025, by Leslie Kane Banda, Harare, when President Emerson Mnangagwa suddenly set course for the Vatican. Speculation erupted across Zimbabwe's political corridors. Why the urgency? Why now? Was it merely diplomatic courtesy? Or something deeper, perhaps even mystical, driving the leader's dash to Rome? Upon landing in Rome, Mnangagwa was greeted not by senior officials, but by a junior priest, a reception that only deepened the sense of intrigue. His appearance at the Vatican was hurried, uncharacteristically so for a head of state. Political and church circles alike questioned what the president sought that could not wait. For some, the explanation lies not in diplomacy, but in rising paranoia inside State House. Vice President Constantino Chiwenga recently visited Italy, officially for medical treatment and international engagements. Yet whispers suggest he also brushed shoulders with the Catholic establishment. That possibility has fueled speculation that Mnangagwa feared being spiritually outflanked by his deputy. In Zimbabwe, political power has long been tied to spiritual undertones. It is not only about ballots, the military, or constitutional authority. It is also about unseen blessings and mystical legitimacy. Within that frame, Mnangagwa's trip carried a symbolic meaning, a countermove to secure his own audience with the Pope, equal to or greater than whatever graces Chiwenga may have received. The precedent was set by the late Robert Mugabe, who, despite bitter clashes with Western governments, maintained an unusual closeness to the Vatican. Mugabe attended papal funerals and masses, cultivating ties that provided him with symbolic legitimacy at home and abroad. To his followers, papal encounters made him not only politically powerful, but spiritually recognized. Mnangagwa, long in Mugabe's shadow, has not ignored that history. By rushing to Rome, he may be seeking to borrow from the same aura of papal legitimacy that Mugabe once wielded. The Vatican visit is therefore not just about Catholic diplomacy. It is about what some analysts call mystical capital, the intangible power that comes from being seen and blessed by spiritual figures. In Zimbabwe's political imagination, such recognition can fortify a leader's rule, shield him from rivals, and reassure followers who still see faith and politics as inseparable. This urgency reveals more than insecurity. It underscores a deeper contest within the ruling elite, a battle not only for political dominance, but also for spiritual supremacy. Did Mnangagwa truly believe Chiwenga had secured papal endorsement that needed to be matched? Is the Pope now an unseen player in Zimbabwe's succession politics? Or is Mnangagwa simply repeating Mugabe's strategy of weaving faith into politics to secure moral legitimacy? Whatever the truth, the Vatican highlights that in Zimbabwe, power is never just political. It is also spiritual, symbolic, and often mystical, and when paranoia sets in, even the Pope can become part of the battlefield.